Ciao guys, buongiorno. So adding a second video for our trip down to Calabria, I'm also going to add a second video for our terrace because we left out so much of that. We kind of got you up to speed on why we thought we were selling the house, why the house didn't sell, and then what we ended up doing with the terrace, but we did not add all the photos and all the videos, and I wanted to further explain the terrace situation. So when we got to Italy, we had already hired the contractor in January. We met them January 2023. 2 contractors, one never got back to us. Went with the second one, highly recommended by a friend in the village, and then work was supposed to start maybe March. 3 weeks. Should be done. Month total. That never happened. June, July. We're like, okay, you told us you had a time frame because of the rainy season. What's going on? We kept saying we're coming for our vacation. It needs to get done. We get there and it was not done. It was a flippin' mess. So overwhelming, so upsetting. And we now had this space. The roof is off. Beautiful view if you're 7 feet tall or stand on a ladder every time. So Mike was like, don't worry, I'm going to fix it. I will fix it. And I'm like, how the heck are you going to fix this, Mike? And he's like, I'm going to build a deck. I'm going to frame it out. I'm going to, rise it up, build a deck so that we can enjoy this terrace that we just paid every last penny we had to bring, our private space to our beautiful home. So he did. So he mapped out a deck. Now he had to go buy decking material in Italy, not an easy task. He said in the first video he had to find concrete screws. Everything was a nightmare. The weather did not cooperate. It was raining. We ran out of material. We ran out of money. We ran out of energy. It was a lot. He got it done. He absolutely got it done. And he was on a time frame because he wanted it done because I was supposed to be coming with some girlfriends, shortly thereafter. We knew we had a trip coming up and he didn't want me to get there and it was still like a construction zone. So he didn't get the floor laid in, but he got the floor laid out. So you'll see tile, and that was just tile that we used when they took off the roof. Because originally in the contract, we thought that new flooring was included. Joke was on us. It was not. So that was like, okay, let's pivot. Let's figure out where we can get cheap material. So we were like, why can't we just use the roof tile? It's absolutely beautiful. It's, authentic. It's antique. It's beautiful, stunning. I loved it. So that was free. Mike just had to lug it back up from outside where they had stacked it up to the terrace. But that looks beautiful. So he just has to lay the tile down on the next trip. He'll get that done. So it's going to be great and we can't wait to enjoy it.
Ciao.
Mike and Kerri back.
Video number 2 for the Terrace.
Video number 2 for the Terrace, a follow-up video because we were yapping so much in that first video.
Yeah, we tend to yap a little bit.
So we're going to do a little less yapping, a little more video and photo to show you our beautiful terrace.
Right, and what led to the way it looks today.
But first, we wanted to say on this Memorial Day weekend to all the families of the fallen soldiers that never came home, thank you for your sacrifice.
Absolutely.
It gives us all the ability to celebrate this beautiful weekend, long weekend, and we will never forget the sacrifices made from our American soldiers.
Right. Thank you for everybody, for all your services. And I know there's a lot of folks that did come home that unfortunately didn't make it, even though they did come home. And we want to send Kerri's dad is the one I'm talking about, and I'm sure there's millions more. And we just want to make sure that we don't exclude them on today.
Yeah, there's many millions that did not die in combat, but they died a very slow death when they came home. My dad being one of them. Vietnam, 1969, 1970, returned and was never the same.
Yep.
So, Semper Fi, Daddy. So the terrace.
Yeah.
So we get there. Very frustrating, very upsetting. A lot of money spent, not a lot of work done.
No, and even the final product just wasn't what we were expecting it to be. So
at all.
So Kerri and I had to make the best of it and come up with Plan B. Quickly, very quickly, because we had a limited amount of time that we were there.
Limited amount of time, and you know, we could have just sat there and I could have cried for 10 days or so how did we come up with Plan B? The main thing was the wall was not removed.
Correct. The main thing was being able to get up high enough to see over that wall so we could see the valley. That was the whole point really of the terrace, was for the valley. We wanted that view.
So unless we were going to stand on a ladder.
Correct, which there's a picture of. The only way to do it was to bring the floor up. So the only way to do that was to build some type of deck. And that's kind of was the first thing that popped into my head was we need to build a deck.
Build a deck in Italy on a terrace.
On a terrace that we just got done paying for that was supposed to be completed.
So, like, what was the ground? And you've never actually built a deck here, like a full deck?
No, but I mean, we did the addition to the house. It's a similar making sure.
So your thought process was just get the floor up.
Get the floor up. We used that ladder, that silly ladder that we did the... the pictures on to get an idea of how high that we actually needed it. And then it was from there, it was just mapping it out, measuring it out, getting the right idea of the amount of stuff that we were going to need, which never works out because we had to go back.
How many times?
Oh, I lost track. I honestly lost track of how many times that we actually had to go back. It was too many.
Was it, well, first of all, you knew how much wood, but like we would go to the store and if you needed 10 pieces, they had like 4.
Yeah, they had 4 or they had 6 and 2 were completely bent in a different direction. So we had to go to another one and then we had to go to another one. And
I think in one afternoon, we probably went to like 4 Brickomans, 5 Leroy Merlins.
Yeah.
And
And just because it says measure twice, cut once, that doesn't always work either, because I measured everything out, I mapped it out, and I think, you know, at 2 different points we were still short on materials. So because I had to do things a little bit different than I was anticipating, the area is very unsymmetrical. It is not square, it is angles and kickouts and different. It just wasn't a. If it had been a square, it would have been nice and easy, but it was not. It was different angles and stuff like that. So there were a lot of funky cuts and stuff that I had to kind of navigate around, which we did. I mean, we got it done.
Yeah. So why don't we come right back and tell them about that? So one of the cons about buying a Italian home, if you cannot park your car right at your house, you have to figure out, how am I getting whatever furniture, building material to the house? So if you're not Mike Smart and you can't just carry anything on your shoulders, which he has, he's carried refrigerators, bureaus. I mean, that guy could probably put a flipping house on his shoulders, and he does it. But he had to lug all the wood, from the car down the little cobblestone street that they're supposed to be repaving, that they have not, to the house, up 3 flights of stairs, all by himself. And how he does the things he does, I have no idea, but he does them, he gets it done, it looks amazing. The other thing that was quite frustrating, so in our village, there's probably 3 places you can park. There's a little parking garage, an enclosed parking garage, and then there's an outdoor parking spot where we usually park. And then if you drive down the street closer to our home, there's another little area that holds probably 10 cars. That's it. So Mike would back down to that little piazza, unload all the wood, walk it to the house, temporary. And this woman will always come out screaming at us to move the car. And it's like, lady, we're just unloading wood. Like, give us 5 minutes. But it's every time. So she clearly has a beef with anyone parking, things like that. But we are respectful. We know we're in their village, their country. We're not there to cause any trouble. It's just sometimes, you're like, can you just give us a break for a minute, please? So things like that get frustrating. But, if you do the pros and the cons, there's so many more pros than cons. But I hope you enjoy some of the footage, some of the video. We were exhausted. That trip was exhausting. We went there knowing we were walking into something that wasn't going to be fun. Mike's entire vacation was going to be another work vacation. And, he's not getting younger. He still does what he always did, but he's not getting younger, and it takes its toll on him. And unfortunately, the last 2 times we were in Italy, he got very, very sick, like violently sick. And I was really worried about him. And again, that's when your neighbors, your found family, as the Lasteds, our dear friends back on Cape Cod, always say, we have found family in Italy. Our neighbors, we adore them, we cherish them, we have vacationed with them. So when Mike got really sick, that's another moment when I was like, why are we selling this house? Like, where are we ever going to find these people again? When I was at my breaking point, my husband's in the house, violently sick, in excruciating pain. And I'm like, what do I do with him? He won't go to the hospital. He's being stubborn. And, I messaged Giovanni and Allie, and they come running over and, got us up to a local clinic where, a doctor kind of just set eyes on Mike. I was a little taken back by the treatment, not the treatment he got, but that's a different story. But we just had to get him home. First of all, didn't you blow out a screwdriver? What did you do over there?
Oh,
You thought you'd save money. You thought you'd bring a set of tools over to Italy.
yeah, I brought an American set of DeWalt power drills, and because of the difference in the plugs, I had the bright idea of just whacking off the American plug and then putting on a European plug, but the amperage and stuff was all different. So when I plugged that thing in to charge it, it fried the charger. It was so, again, something I wasn't anticipating happening.
So don't go whacking plugs off.
No, don't. Yeah, you don't want to use your American style amperage and voltage stuff over there because it's different. The electricity is just, it's different.
Yeah, I even think I brought my hair dryer and it never
Burnt out.
Yeah, it burnt out like immediately.
It burnt out.
So if you think, oh, I'll just pack, if you buy your house and you're like, oh, I'll just pack some tools and bring tools, not power.
Yeah, there's
electric.
certain obviously things that you can do it with, but if you have something that's requiring a very specific type of electrical input, and if you alter that, it's gonna not.
Were you able to find the tools that you needed?
Yes. Yep.
In the home improvement stores?
We had one drill and saw that was there, and then we got an electric drill and a cordless drill that we were there. But I did that entire deck with a jigsaw, a handheld jigsaw.
You also did something that we don't recommend. You were cutting the wood. The last piece took you for like an hour, 2 hours.
That curved, little tiny curved piece. The last piece was about that big. It had a big curve on it.
And I remember looking over and you were holding the wood.
It's perfectly fine.
With grippers. What were you doing?
Pair of pliers.
And you were cutting with a saw in your other hand, leaning on your knee.
It's all good.
I think in flip-flops.
Definitely in flip-flops.
No safety goggles.
Reading glasses, maybe.
Maybe.
Not
recommended.
No.
But
OSHA wasn't there, so I was good.
You're lucky Lalo wasn't there either.
Yeah.
Please be careful, Mike. It's not cutting it. Want me to hold it? Oh, God.
Piece, of course.
Who's gonna see it over there?
Me.
Well, I'll put a planter. That's where my olive tree will go. So, okay, so we made many trips.
Yeah.
So it's also, I did a quick little recap video of the parking situation. Like, we would come back from the store, car full of
that was the other big test for us.
And we would pull down to the little piazza to unload.
But
and
then
this one woman,
oh my gosh,
always would come out
she gave me the hardest time. It seems like every time I parked down at the bottom, there's two areas. There's one up at the top where there's an ample amount of space, and then there's one at the bottom of the main road that has about 5 or 6 spots.
Closer to the house, so to
much
unload
closer.
Groceries or couches or bureaus or wood.
And I turned into my Spanish. I don't know why it just comes out, and I said, "Uno momento, por favor," like total Spanish, and had no idea what I was.
That probably pissed her off even more.
Yeah, she did not like me. I just tried to explain. I was just unloading, like. But yes, then
Every time.
every time. But then we had to carry everything up to the house and then up the 3 flights of stairs to.
Yeah, the
The
weather was
terrace.
not cooperating. I think the
No.
10 days we were there that you were working on the
Yeah.
terrace, we had probably 5 days of rain.
At least, yeah. Yeah, at
Um,
least. It was a 50-50 split, I think you're right. In Ace Hardware, it's probably nothing like
Are you over it?
Huh?
Are you over it?
Way over.
Apparently it was a very dry summer and there was no rain until Mike and Kerri arrived, and Mike had to build a deck on the terrace that we just paid every last penny we had, and now he has to complete the terrace and build a deck to enjoy the view in the pouring rain. Another day in the life of Mike and Kerri. But so did you? What kind of did you just find? What kind of wood?
I mean, it was the wood I needed. I mean, they had the similar style wood that I needed. It all had to be stained in urethane because obviously it wasn't pressure treated wood, which we found at Leroy Merlin. We were looking inside. They told us the outdoor stuff was in a completely different place.
Downstairs.
Outside, downstairs. Just take the elevator down. You go out and you'll find everything you need. And
Mike and I went outside to take the elevator downstairs, and as soon as we got on the elevator, a major fire alarm went off.
Yeah, it was like we had gone out an emergency exit for some reason. And
so we came off the elevator, found a
police officer, yeah.
We were like, wood, Google Translate.
Outside
wood.
Alarm.
Oh, okay. So he went down and told us, he came back up and said, go down through the door. And we're like, what? We went back down. He shut the alarm off. We went back down.
And went through a door that it says not to go through.
Don't go through it.
And I don't know.
We went through it, and we were like in the dungeons of Leroy Merlin.
It was a little bizarre, but they didn't have.
But come to find out, they have an outdoor yard.
Yeah.
Almost like an outdoor Lowe's.
Right. For like
center.
concrete and, fence posting and stuff like that is separate from upstairs.
But we found it. But did they have what you were looking for? No. So all that for naught.
For naught. Be right back.
So the deck, after we got through the meltdown of it, was it a huge project?
I mean,
for you?
For me, it wasn't. It was relatively simple. Once you get the framing laid out and then you put your cross beams on and get that proper spacing done, then it was just dropping the planks down, screwing them down. So, I mean, once I get it all mapped out and got the actual material I needed, it wasn't really that much work to actually put it together.
And then for the flooring, in the other video we explained, we thought the new flooring on the terrace was going to be included. We thought that was in the contract. It was not. So we reused when they removed the roof.
Beautiful, beautiful roof tiles. In the original roof on the 3rd floor, it was laid in with these really nice,
like brick style tiles.
But
they
were super beautiful. But they had brought those all downstairs, and they were going to
resell them.
They were going to recycle them, they said, but they were going to resell them. So when we saw how good they were, and the roof shingles as well,
we kept them, and
we kept
that's what we're using for
and that's what we're using for the flooring.
Yeah, so that saved money. and it looks beautiful. It looks more authentic than like a new flooring.
Yeah.
So now when we get back on the next trip, you just have to lay that floor down.
Yeah. Put the flooring down, put some mortar down, lay it down, seal it, and then we're good to go.
And then the other thing, the terrace has a water source.
Yeah, for some reason in the third floor there was a water line that was inside the wall, and it was kind of blocked off, or I don't know what it was used for. But anyway, there's a water line there, and it's available to us. So we're going to have
a pretty fountain,
a real nice water feature put out there.
So that'll be fresh water.
Yeah.
That'll be nice, and we're going to put a
pizza oven. Yeah,
we already saw one.
Yeah, we have enough room on the flat side. So about half of the area is raised, and the other half in the back is at the regular height.
Yeah, and they left 3 of the beams. We requested they left the beams. Originally, we thought those were coming down, but it kind of gave us a spot to wrap lights.
Some lights, yeah.
You know, maybe hang like a chair or something. So it's going to be beautiful. It's attached to the castle. We have an outstanding view of just the whole Sabina Valley.
It's amazing. It worked out in the long run. It didn't go the way we had planned for it to go,
and it made the house everything it didn't have. Like, I can't imagine now not having that space.
Yeah.
And we didn't lose the bedroom, so we still kept an area for a queen bed.
Right.
When you come up the top of the stairs,
Yep.
there's still a bedroom.
Yep.
So it worked out perfect. So that's the terrace.
That's the terrace.
And we have all the photos, all the videos. It was frustrating. It was exhausting. It was overwhelming. It was expensive. It was all those things.
Yeah.
But
on our vacation.
On our one vacation.
Right. We were supposed to be enjoying.
And we paid professionals to do it.
Yeah.
So that you did not have to do it. So
it was disappointing. It was really disappointing.
Moral of that story, like we said, just don't assume a contractor's doing their job. Not that all contractors are going to screw you, but it can happen very easily.
Especially when you're not there. I think that's the really big thing is we weren't there and they knew we weren't there. Yeah,
the updates were just slow coming, and I think we got taken advantage of. But that's done. That's over.
And it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have many glasses of wine.
Iced coffee today.
Pellegrino. Chin chin.
Pack my bags and close the door. Airplanes waiting, can't ignore. Off to Italy, sunny shore. Rome by night, I'll explore. Viva l'Italia, under blue skies. Gelato mountains and pizza pies. History whispers in the streets. Summer romance in every heartbeat. Venice canals where gondolas glide. Beyond the city my secrets hide. Florence art in every stride. Tuscany's hills my dreams ride. Viva l'Italia, under blue skies. Gelato mountains and pizza pies. History whispers in the streets. Summer romance in every heartbeat. Sunset kisses where shadows